Well, that was one side task taken care of. We actually have a few different things we can deal with. Oh. Oh no, I can't go to Stellar Bay yet, so we have to put off Lily Hagen until I can deal with the other thing anyway. There's a lot of tasks to take care of, and they're not sorted by location. We have a few people that want to go to Monarch. And a few people that want me to go to Roseway. Yeah, let's go to Roseway. Roseway is specifically...
Any more strays while you were out? I suppose if the crew's quarters fill up, we could hang hammocks in the cargo hold.
We could. Great idea. I'm going to ignore all of your sarcasm. The Roseway is where the distress signal came from. We probably should do that because it feels kind of important at the moment. Try and double check where these places are supposed to go to. That's the science thing. These are actually two separate distress signal quest notifications that both refer to Roseway, funnily enough. We're looking for a character on Scylla. Monarch. Roseway. Okay, so the other thing that's on Roseway is the cleaning machine situation. So we have a distress signal, which makes going to Roseway feel kind of important, but then we also have the fact that we get an entire crew member potentially if I make progress on Roseway, which is just all the more reason to go to Roseway, really. So let's visit Roseway. Am I able to land there yet? Because I'm trying to get the ability to land on Stellar Bay, which requires me to go to somewhere. All right, anyway, where's Roseway? I'm continually bad at... Is it one of the places here? No. Ah, Roseway is another place on Terra 2. Gotcha. I have not really learned... KK? It's one of the things I gotta get used to is... I need to internalize more of this map, but... I've only been to 2 locations so far, so, you know, give me a break a little bit. So Roseway is another part of Terra 2, apparently, not a new system. Gotcha.
Captain, got a minute? This Roseway business smells. Something tells me things didn't end well for the guy who made the distress call. And whoever or whatever got him will be waiting for us.
Do we know anything about who sent the call?
What's there to know, Captain? Shady corporate town caught up in shady corporate shit. Tough luck for them, but maybe an opportunity for us.
Why wouldn't they just call for corporate reinforcements?
With a lot of these companies, the thrashing you take from your boss is worse than whatever a bunch of marauders will do to you. Doesn't exactly encourage calling for aid when there's a fuck-up.
Someone needs help, Ellie, and we're going to give it to them.
If you say so. I'm keeping a finger on the trigger all the same. Anyway, we might as well take a look out there, see if we can get the jump on whoever's waiting for us.
If nothing else, we'll have a cool robot by the end, I think. Or the acid gun for it, at least. Alright. You showed initiative, and also I like you more, so go ahead and join the party. And you're the robot repair person, potentially, for the robot repairs that I might need to do. Other than that, not a lot going on. It's just the distress signal and the robot. It's not where anyone's particular quest points to at the moment, that I remember, at least. The quests aren't exactly sorted by location, and frankly, I might scan them a little less thoroughly than I'd like to, but the part that describes your objectives is actually like a lot of text, like that one in particular. It can be a lot of text to try to scan through on the fly.
Not that I'm complaining.
Admittedly, a slightly disappointing place to come to. We are just back on Terra 2, so we're back in the same green, mossy-looking basalt column area, and in between, all we went to was 2 different space stations, and then we're back to this place. Oh, this place looks way smaller though. Maybe not by volume, but by number of things to do, or at least buildings. 1 major facility straight ahead, and a handful of little things here and there. If I point, yep, if I go to the main quest, it points straight ahead. Let's do that first, just because this, I kind of want to follow this railway. We'll go off on our side path to deal with whatever's going on over there in a bit. Better than nature. Eh? Better than nature feels like a slightly weird claim to say out loud, but it's way less off-putting than anything Spacer's Choice says, which almost every slogan they say is directly distressing. I mean, it should be better than nature. It's goddamn scientifically derived medicine. Like, it's should be better than whatever just fucking grows on trees, I would hope. So it's like, it's like, probably doesn't kill you is almost like the claim. Like, it just feels weird to be like, to say what is the whole point of medicine. Insert captain's identification cartridge to initiate remote landing. Remote landing. Ah, sounds like you can put in your ID for like your ship or whatever, and the ship will come to you. What you hiding over here? More shit. I gotta get one of those perks that makes my carrying capacity go up, because I've tried to purge some of my shit, but it's still like at 70 out of 100. I really should just throw some more of these away. Yeah. You got a 131 DPS. Let's see. Sort by value, weight, name, value. Can I sort by DPS, maybe? That seems like a weird thing to not be able to sort by. The slicer. That's a better melee weapon, so I guess take that. And you're using the light machine gun with 320 damage. The Ellie is using her default 180 dramatic. This does more, but it's not the right range. This is 142 acid, I assume. This is 131 electric. Yeah, she's got her own thing going on. I think I'm just going to be somewhat haphazard with throwing away items, just because there's so many of them that I'll quickly have more items. Yeah. Tactical shot. Yeah, I already have a tactical shotgun equipped. Assault rifle, bolter pistol, grenade launcher. That's kind of exciting. Yeah. Gotta be honest. Kind of want to equip it. And generic shit. Alright. I should have equipped the bolter. Yeah. That electronic, that special effect pistol was like 180, so I should have equipped that. It's fine. I usually don't change weapons anyway, so it's probably not a problem. Just trying to deal with the fact that this thing gets full up all the time, but I gotta get one of the, I gotta get that perk that gives me plus 40 per companion. That'll be very helpful. It's just that it's a bummer because it's like normal movement speed, where it's like, ah, that'll make this playthrough slightly more convenient. But the other stuff like makes me better at combat, or makes me get more experience, or is more like moment to moment useful, where that's like a convenience talent, and convenience talents feel like a poor use, because you could just optimize around the convenience talent by just, you know, dealing with it instead of that. You sell a bunch of shit. Okay. It's not the best choice. It's not the best choice. Oops. It's not. Oh. Look at you. Plasma carbine. Fast firing, medium sized charge up energy weapon. I don't want. I want my bolt action shit, but like good. Do you have a better? You have a better hunting rifle, please? Now that I have two party members, I'm especially capable of just hanging out in medium to long range and just kind of peppering shots while maintaining my own safety. Look at these hamster tubes that I can't fit through. Long gun is unfortunately a bit of a broad term. It's good in that my talents and my skills affect a bunch of weapons, making me good at all of them. It's bad in that if I'm looking for a particular category of weapon that has a particular feel, it's not always easy to tell at a glance what category things count as, which is kind of the Borderlands problem. This looks like a shotgun. Oh, it's an automatic rifle that charges at beams that then bounce, then you throw the gun to reload it. I'm like, I just wanted a shotgun, asshole.
Captain, something bit them. Something with more teeth than is strictly necessary.
Oh, it's probably those things that eat smaller copies of each other. The ones that have the weird acidy stomach, and we saw one of them on the ship. My Oblivion senses ticked in, and they were like, pick up all the mushrooms. I bet at this. Oop. What? Oh, I'm hearing breathing. Oh, yep, it's those guys. Brady wrapped it on Mauler.
Here we go.
Oh, it's coming straight for me. Do a flip. How you guys holding up? V. Wow, it does a cutscene that's, or it tries to. Not exactly carefully framed cutscene, but it tries. Okay, so that's what happens when I press it. Slightly jarring to have the cutaway, but they're trying to make it look cool, like VATS. This game is heavy on the legacy of Fallout New Vegas, so they tried to have VATS finishers, it looks like. Camera angle kind of didn't do it a lot of good. Well, if I aggro those things now, they're gonna have a tough time coming after me. It's not the best choice. Maybe we're fine. A little concerned it might be some kind of trap or bad news. They ate his head off. He's also apparently a scientist. You can tell because of his lab coat / scrubs appearance. It's nice of people to die in a little uniform that tells me what their story was before they died, because I can't see them anymore. They've been evicted. Yep. I wonder how many of these houses have evicted on the outside. On one hand, as the level designer, you get to save some resources.
Clear the roadway. Obstruction of commerce is punishable by a fine of no less than 10,000 bits.
You're stuck on a corpse, which, I mean, congrats, you got a kill. You probably were more successful than a lot of the other guys were, but yeah, I don't think they're coming back. But yeah, how many people were, lots of evictions. Level designer gets to save some resources, but not having to populate the inside of the building, and also the resource, like the game doesn't have to load the inside. But on the other hand, there's also the element of, like, it kind of does some storytelling here. This idea that, like, there's so many houses here, but you don't get to actually, no one gets to live in half of them. Which on one hand, you're like, why? You guys are a colony, you have a fixed number of people who live here and a fixed number of jobs and a fixed number of houses. You should be able to fucking house everybody. It's a controlled situation. But on the other hand, you're also like, I don't want to live outside that gate. Why does anyone want to live outside the gate? It seems like a terrible idea to live outside the walls of any of these areas. I don't know why anyone lives outside the walls on Terra 2. Is that just the people that were chosen to die early? Because it seems to be what happens to them. So far, I've not seen a single person who is alive who's living outside the walls on Terra 2, besides the deserters in their camp. All these houses are empty in every camp. They made a terrible city planning choice, apparently. Old journal. Dad, I'm writing this on the odds that you find your way back here. I'm sorry I wasn't here to see you. They're moving us out of town. All of us. I don't know where we're going. Hoping that wherever it is, they've got a lab as nice as Roseway's. They were doing some good work, real science for once. I don't know why they're moving us, but I don't know when we'll see each other again. And Dad, do me a favor and burn this journal. I'm not allowed to even mention the name Roseway, as far as corporate's concerned. This town never existed. I don't want to get in trouble. Burn this journal. Have you considered writing it on paper instead of a digital document? Which I'm gonna fucking come out on a limb here and say they can probably scan this document on the fly. The fact that you're entering it into a digital thing and you don't want it to reach them is an incredibly unsafe thing. Like this, it's probably connected to some kind of internet connection that, and you probably already got in trouble. You have paper. I can see it. You weirdos with your digital journals that only have one document on them. Unfortunately, I think their dad came in and yeah. I think their dad got back and found out that their kid was gone and died, or shot themselves, because I think there was a gun right here a second ago. And then the it's either or. He might have just been attacked by the creatures and didn't even reach the document in the first place, which is why it isn't burned. And he just got killed by those creatures, and that's why his leg's gone. Or they might have eaten his leg off afterwards. They might not be that picky. Not really sure. It also might just be a random guard that just kind of was getting attacked by those things, ran in that direction, fell, got mauled. Not everyone can have my magic time travel powers. I solve all my problems.
Organic materials detected on roadway. Please ensure mechanisms are free of reversal.
So you were able to detect that you can't tell what it is apparently. You're not smart enough to go around it, but you could tell that it's organic. And you ran it over anyway.
Delays in loading due to commerce obstruction will be deducted from all staff pay.
I guess I shouldn't have expected that this universe would have self-driving cars that are programmed anything vaguely ethically. They would prioritize profits over all else, and they would just gladly run over anything that's in the way. And then blame those people. Doggos. That one's a purple, and that one's a gold, and that one's a red. I use my hair to express myself.
You have been fined an additional 200 bits for commerce obstruction. Please collect your ticket.
Anyone in here?
Please clear the roadway. Obstruction.
Oop, what did I just pick up? Whoops. I thought it was a document that I was going to read. That seemed like it was probably a quest item.
Warning.
Oh. We'll probably see it over here. Quests. Oh, I forgot to sell my junk. Oh god, I have so much, don't I? Oh, this is where some of my weight is I can't get rid of. Those are 6 right... That's 6 pounds right there. Fuck. That's a mistake I made. Junior Deputy Constable's badge. ID cartridges. There it is. Snakeskin. Add a rustic charm to your ship's bunk with this authentic leather boa hide. This might look nice in one of the cruise rooms. Okay. So it's a snakeskin decoration for the ship. Not a big deal. But now I know it. Now I know where I got it from. Property of Auntie Cleo. Roseway Laboratory and Outpost. Messages. Welcome, B. Martin. From Administration. Relocation. Dear Sir and or Madam, effective immediately, all operations in the Roseway Laboratory and Outpost have been terminated. Auntie Cleo values your commitment to serving our company and will arrange for your transportation and relocation to one of three available Auntie Cleo worker facilities with the following restrictions. Relocation fees will be deducted from your pay. Great. What a great society. If your pay is insufficient to cover necessary relocation fees, you may apply for a relocation fee loan. Take a loan for them relocating you. Approval of loans requires an audit of your work history and permanent record. If you would like to apply for an audit, please submit a request form for a place in our surprise audit waitlist. Please include your audit fee, paid in full. If you cannot pay your audit, please apply for an audit fee loan. It keeps looping. It's an infinite feedback. It's like paying taxes on your tax refund. Approval of loans requires an audit of your work history and permanent record. There Thank you for cooperating with Auntie Cleo's relocation and site erasure protocol. Please remember that, effective immediately, all registered Auntie Cleo workers are strictly forbidden from confirming or denying the existence of Roseway Laboratory and Outpost. Violating this directive may be punishable by a fine, mandatory re-education, or a surprise audit. Oh. That's the punchline at the end. They go through all that work to get an audit because they need it. And there's a lottery for getting an audit, but also you'll get surprised audited as a punishment. So, just in case we were wondering, yes, Auntie Cleo is just as awful as Spacer's Choice. Maybe worse, we'll find out. All personnel files have been purged from terminal memory. Please be informed that all data and information stored in Roseway Laboratory and Outpost terminals are the property of Auntie Cleo. Any attempt to restore lost data constitutes theft. Auntie Cleo appreciates your cooperation. The act of restoring data is theft. Sure. Of course it is. Okay.
Please ensure mechanisms are free of reversal.
I don't think it's gonna work. Hey, I'm at 777 ammo instead of 666. I keep catching all those intervals. What was it like? I remember when I was like in the DeviantArt community a bit.
Shouldn't we be looking into that distress call? Not that I mislike feeling the wind in my hair.
I'm on my way. I'm just keep an eye out for enemies. Hey, there's a crash ship. But I remember there being a thing where I think it was called Kiribon or something, where if you screenshotted somebody hitting a weird milestone of followers, like if they have 7777 followers or something, you could screenshot that, and sometimes like the artist would reward you with like custom art or something on request or some stuff like that. That kind of thing. I think it was called Kiribon. I don't remember. That was a different time. Over a decade ago for me. It was like a little celebration.
They left their own outside to die? Was it that bad?
It's the board. They always seem to be that bad. At the moment, I'm thinking... Was it a slogan? Hey, buddy. You just gonna try... Yeah, you probably should keep going. It's pretty bad here. I'm guessing the scientists did something, and it, like, agitated all of the Maulers, and the Maulers just converged like a zombie horde upon this camp. Like, something that they were messing with just called to them. Some kind of signal. That might be the weird high-pitched noise I keep hearing that I haven't really been able to place the origin of. I'm sure we'll find a document explaining it. So all those people were locked out, but I just walked in. Is the power out or something? Or the security lifted? I just walked in, but all those people were locked outside like they couldn't get in and died as a result. Things got pretty bad. We're down to just that guy, maybe? Sure, we'll find out. Nope, there's another guy. That's a good sign. Burke.
I done had enough of this shit. I'm just the fucking tarmac guard. No one said nothing about fighting no raps.
What happened here?
Alarms went off, raps broke loose, and I hightailed it in here to get a wall between me and them beasts.
You said the raps broke loose? Did you have them caged up?
Forget I said anything about that.
Well, what can you tell me about them?
Wish they tasted like Sissy Pig. Them's good eating.
What do they taste like?
Some say chicken. I say the north end of a southbound woolly cow. Anything else you'd like to know?
Tastes like a cow's ass. Can you tell me who's in charge?
Scientist, name of Anton Crane. Someone said he's panicking inside the comm center.
I'm just gonna take a look around.
Oh, before I forget, Auntie Cleo's makes the best pharmaceuticals in Halcyon. Better than nature. Not like that crap Spacer's Choice pedals.
Yeah, unfortunately, Spacer's Choice is not going to partake. In fact, you guys seem to have like a non-compete thing going on where nobody will interact with each other's products at all because you have like self-contained ecosystems, which is actively like a weird problem for y'all. To the point of literally killing your own people in order to maintain that. What a pleasant bunch. Oops. Anyone looking? Okay. That counted as stealing. I was a little worried. Hey, the sprats are in here. Maybe it is safe in here then if the sprats are doing alright. You think that they'd get hunted down by those creatures. So maybe there's not any inside here besides the handful that have been wiped out over there.
I don't have time for this. Hey.
I don't have time for this. I'm sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Which, as you can tell, is keeping me very busy. So fuck off.
Carry on.
Orson Shaw.
Ah, outlaws, I assume. Do me a favor and let me finish this, will you? And then make it quick, please.
What are you talking about?
Aren't you with the brutes that attacked our lab? Aren't you here to pillage our supplies and leave our corpses to the raptidons?
I heard there was a bit of trouble here and thought I'd check it out.
Oh, well, good luck. Now, if you got the carbon in here, it's just a matter. Orson, you idiot. Just put it. Of course, because I didn't. It's gonna put it in the power of 12, and of course it's. We're gonna get this solved. I mean, it's really now or never. I'm going to.
What are you doing there?
What does it look like? I'm preparing a personal defense device, or trying to anyway.
If you run a wire from your capacitor there, you can bypass the circuit to save a little power.
Why, yes, I suppose I could. Thanks.
That looks pretty lethal. Are you allowed to mess with tech like that?
Certainly not. But Porter and his goons are busy with the outlaws, and Anton's busy holding his head in his hands. Seems as good a time as any to get a bit of work done.
So they have both a raptor problem and an outlaw problem at the same time. Need a hand?
No. Well, yes. Well, no. Perhaps. I left schematics in our storage facility. As far as I know, the security commander hasn't found them yet. I admit I'd feel better were they returned to me.
Care to elaborate?
I found an advanced pistol when we moved here, but it's broken. I need those schematics to modify it to output superheated air. It should quite easily burn through raptidon hides.
Where is the storage facility?
Out the south gate. Follow the road. It'll be on the left, past the old lab.
Sure, I'll see what I can find.
Say, you wouldn't happen to have a tube of thermal paste on you, would you?
No.
Blast. Well, good luck. I hope I see you back here in one piece.
It's funny, my character almost seems like, of course I don't, but like, I pick up so much random shit, I totally could have a tube of thermal paste on me. It's not the best paste.
You're fast.
Don't call attention to what I'm up to. Officer's Spine. It's a hell of a name. In or out, y'all? The heavy machine gun. This guy's really, like, he's kind of overflowing with resources for somebody who's out there making a new weapon, like he's in a hurry. I guess he's picky, or he just really wants a specific weapon to be available, as opposed to the other ones he's got on hand. Sun's going down.
The ventilation shaft runs from the bottom of the lab to the top of the hill, over the garage.
Top of the hill's Raptidon territory. Sit down.
I don't need to do it myself. I can stay here if you want.
So you'd send someone else on your damn fool mission.
Hello, I am someone else who goes on damn fool missions. Do you guys have one-eyed masks? Like your depth perception is just gone?
I told you, you're staying put.
You're not listening. We can stop this.
Only thing stopping them beasts is high caliber kinetics.
If we close the vent shaft, we can contain them.
He has a plan, but I can't talk to him about the plan. Maybe somebody else will mention that plan, or maybe it's a deranged nonsense plan that isn't actually gonna go anywhere. I'm just... When a character like that explains the plan like that, I'm so used to them being a character that, like, no one will listen to me, but I know how to solve all this, and then, like, you take the quest on, and then you go do it. But I can't actually interact with that guy. That's chicken. Like you do. They're just wandering around, they don't give a shit. They have no idea what calamities befallen the outside world. Huh?
Oh boy. I don't think I'm ready for another bar crawl, Captain.
Well, then watch. Got randos and randos, and of course, you.
I don't think you're supposed to be wandering around. Security's gonna tell you to make tracks. Want to treat yourself before you go? Something for the road, maybe?
Honestly, no one's told me to go anywhere. I think they're too busy with the other two shitty factions happening at once. Well, one faction and one animal outbreak that I'm just kind of chill by comparison. You seem eager to be rid of me.
I don't really know you. Roseway is supposed to be closed off to visitors. Stands to reason you could be a corporate spy of some sort. Then again, there's nothing in my contract that says I can't sell the corporate spies. Your bits are the same as anybody else's.
You got time for some questions?
Sure. Not like I get many customers.
Don't seem to care about the corporate spy thing anymore, huh? Why is this place called the 17th Bar?
I'm so glad you asked. Some people say the name refers to the 17 rungs in Auntie Cleo's official ladder of corporate advancement. These people are wrong. Truth is, we've been established, closed down, renamed, re-established, and then reopened a grand total of 17 times in the last 40 years. Corporate's still deliberating over a new name. The matter remains hotly contested in committee, but we're expecting a decision within the next 5 to 7 years. Exciting times.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So the last group was like really mercenary and ruthless and brutal with their resources and making people prove themselves in this culty, distressing, self-destructive kind of way. Seems like Auntie Cleo's thing is just excessive and distressing and confusing and oftentimes feedback loopy bureaucracy and red tape. How do you make any money with so few people in town?
Technically, I'm not in business at all. Roseway closed down years ago. corporate still sends us the occasional shipment of necessities through unofficial back channels. Of course, if something goes wrong, like one of our guards drinking himself to an early grave or raptidons running wild, corporate won't acknowledge we ever existed.
That didn't actually answer my question about how you turn a profit, which you seem to care about. Like, in this kind of situation, I could see you just being an employee of a non-capitalistic environment where it just everyone just has a job to do and everyone just does their job and everyone gets their their food and housing and so on because it's a colony, which is honestly a more realistic interpretation of how living in remote locations would often probably work. Like going on space expeditions, then having to prove yourself in order to earn your pay and so on creates redundancies and problems and so on. There's so few people here that if they want somebody to man this bar, then they kind of just need to let them man the bar, period. And then that's just their role they fill, and they don't have to worry about profits necessarily. Let alone the confusion of the idea of even profiting off of a closed ecosystem of employees that you pay and sell to in a loop, where there's basically almost no reason to have an economy in the first place. She kind of just bypassed all those questions and was just like, technically I'm not even real. And it's like, cool. Anyway, repeat question, please. You ever get tired of serving Auntie Cleo products?
Can't say I do. Auntie Cleo products satisfy all of our nutritional needs. At least they used to. My folks filled their whole pantry with all sorts of Auntie Cleo products. These days, we don't get much in the way of variety. Maybe some tripicale pasta or some ketchup if we're lucky. I hear it's like that all over the colony. We eat what we can get, and we don't get much. Sure. You need something to clean raptidon blood out your clothes?
No, I would just like you to just please take all my junk. There we go. That's part of the reason I was making the mistake of having just too much shit in my inventory. As you do. Not in the mood to closely inspect yet, but I'll sell dupes at the very least. Alright. Give me, yep. I got 40 whole empty pounds, you guys. I mean kilograms. Because we're metric in space. That startled me. Every time you look at a container, your character tries to open it. So you always see the open animation. Even when it's really inappropriate, like, hey, that is a... That there's a, what do you call them? A cash register, specifically not one that belongs to me. I'm not supposed to just open those on the fly, and yet here I am.
If you've come to end my life, let's be on with it. Oh, not actually one of them, are you?
No. Did you send the distress call?
Yes. Anton Crane, lead scientist here. I must apologize if my call diverted you. I may have panicked. Everything's under control now, though, truth be told.
Everyone thinks I'm gonna murder them. Is it because of how I'm dressed? Those guards outside are company guards, aren't they? They're not the marauders we're talking about? I thought those were the guards. But they seem to be expecting a death any moment now. But there's so many guards outside, which I think are company guards. Like, the other scientist was talking back and forth with their guard, like their co-workers or whatever. They must be reacting strangely to my marauder armor, I guess. Who did you think I was?
Why, one of our attackers, of course. Obviously, they were drawn here in an attempt to make off with my research.
Your research? Are you working by yourself?
More often than not. Seems I'm the only one who sees the opportunity here.
And what might that be?
A ticket to the good life once my research plays out. Byzantium. Recognition, money, proper facilities. No more uninspired dolts like my associates here.
With all that's at stake, I'd think you'd be begging for anyone's help.
And might you be the sort of person who's, not averse to risking your life if the pay were right?
Depends on what you need from me.
Hours ago, a group of vicious malcontents fell upon us, shot up our labs and loosed our research subjects, the Raptidons. If those cretins get their hands on my research, well, they'll need not kill me.
So we are fresh on this. The wiping out of everything around here and the unleashing of the Raptidons like just happened like an hour ago, basically. Or at least today. If you tell me what you're researching, I'd have a better idea what's at stake here.
You have a point there. It most decidedly cannot make the situation any worse. All right. We were tasked with formulating a new and improved dental gel.
Wait. This is all about toothpaste?
One cannot exaggerate the benefits of good dental hygiene. May I continue?
Please do.
While doing research on enzymes specific to the Raptidon's digestive system, we developed an additive which we subsequently discovered to be the most effective appetite suppressant ever.
That sounds threatening. I don't... Effective appetite suppressant? Sure, okay, why not? The most effective one ever sounds fucking lethal and dangerous. Oh my god. You can catch it however you like. It's still just toothpaste. Diet toothpaste.
Not just any diet toothpaste. The ultimate diet toothpaste.
See, stop saying that. That sounds incredibly dangerous. It's not worth your life. I wouldn't care if it was the ultimate rocket fuel.
Oh, I'm certain it could be made into that as well, with only a few changes to its molecular composition. But you're missing the point. Let's focus for a moment, shall we? Even if you disregard the obvious value of Auntie Cleo's Appazap diet toothpaste in and of itself, we're talking about my career here as well.
Appazap?
Nice, is it not? Came up with that myself. It's a shame our marketing department is almost as befuddled as my co-workers here.
Say no more. I'll remove the cretins and retrieve your research. Want me to deal with Raptidons too?
Yes, but don't kill their mother if it's avoidable. We've need of her to replenish our stocks. I think there's gas in the lab somewhere that can be used to put them out. The research is in the safe in my office. You'll have need of my code and keycard. The lab's entrance is in the side of a hill. You can't miss it if you just follow the road. You'll pass by the town's original... by the Grand Architect. Jameson. He's in the old lab.
Who's Jameson?
My protege. I sent him to retrieve some metabolic precursors, and I forgot him.
You left him to die. Should be ashamed of yourself.
Don't you think it weighs on me? He was my responsibility. All of them are, regardless of their thinking on the matter. If he has died, too many have been lost. Too many black marks against my name. And far too much paperwork.
All you care about is how it affects you?
I'll thank you not to mistake my ambition for callousness.
And what should I mistake it for? Compassion?
If my colleagues refuse to take their lives seriously, why should I? All they do is complain. They refuse to see the opportunity afforded us here.
You can see why people might think you're callous, though, can't you?
I understand I can come off as manipulative and ego-driven. It's something I've always been forced to contend with.
Is it because you're manipulative and ego-driven? I guess I'll have to just take your word for it.
And my colleague, Jameson, will you find him for me?
Of course. He seems more concerned about the negative of being seen as callous than the actual idea of being callous. Like, he says he struggles with it, but it seems like he only struggles with the fact that he has a reputation for it and not the actual part where he behaves that way towards people. I totally thought these were both hallways leading to other rooms, but they're just spooky exposed areas. That's not open.
"50-bit says this guy's already wrapped fodder."
Not a positive outlook here. For a second there, I was thinking, wow, whole new town to check out, just like in Spacer's Choice. But it seems like oh no, that's wood. Okay. I was like, oh god, that's where they all ended up. I thought those were the pile of bodies at a distance. That's just wood. But yeah, it seems like I don't necessarily need to explore an entire new town. Pretty much just a couple of characters, and then everything else is closed off. Anybody in here? Hello, you look like a character. Vaughn Cortez.
You picked a hell of a day to visit. I'm Vaughn. Vaughn Cortez. Dr. Vaughn Cortez. But just Vaughn's fine, really.
Where were you when the outlaws attacked?
Over in the main labs. I rabbited back here when I realized I was hearing gunshots, not blown fuses. We've been cooped up in here, I don't know, hours? Too long. I have to get back to work.
Wow, smooth. I'll never notice that you were talking about something else. You look nervous.
What? I mean, we're surrounded by hungry raptidons. Who wouldn't be? Am I right? Look, I don't want to go back out there, but there's a thing I gotta do. I had to leave an experiment running at the lab. Something I've been working on a long while. Something that could really get me ahead. Know what I mean?
Everyone cares so much about their careers to the point where they're willing to die. Are we talking about something dangerous?
No, not unless you break the... But why would you? Let me explain. I've been extracting organic compounds from raptidons. Compounds that have, benefits.
Extracting how? No, wait, maybe I don't want to know.
In certain social situations. Personal situations. Where you might want to, enhance your charisma.
Oh, he's making enraptured, Captain. An aphrodisiac. Wrapped musk is the main ingredient.
What? No? I mean, yes, I'm getting the musk. With Monarch embargo, the price is sky high, but I'm not making the drug.
It's an aphrodisiac? Does it work?
The results are outside the margin of error. Technically.
So no. Yeah, I really don't want to know anymore. Cut to the chase.
Sure. Of course. Our lab's south of here, down the road. Not the old public lab, the one past that, built into the mountainside.
I'll bite. Why are there two labs?
The newer lab is built for, more sensitive work. We mostly use the old lab for storage these days.
Anton told me about the other lab.
Don't mention this to Anton, okay? He's kind of a tight ass about the lab. Like, squeeze coal into diamond tight. My equipment's in the lower levels, way in the back. I have a big room all to myself, dissection tables and whatnot. It should have been running this whole time. Just grab the results and bring them here.
So this stuff is valuable?
If you have a buyer. I got a contact who wants to haul the entire batch to Byzantium. Help me out, I'll cut you in for a share. I'll even pay you before I am, when you deliver to me.
All right, I'll head up there and keep an eye out.
Great. This is really gonna save my ass.
Going out there to risk my ass so a bunch of old retired folks in Byzantium that are all board approved can go gargle raptor jizz because it might give them an aphrodisiac result that's technically slightly higher chance of success than that of just a coin flip. Wow. Marginally better than placebo. Definitely worth all the side effects.
So, hoping to score some free samples?
Given my track record with board facilities, they're lucky if I don't burn the whole place down on accident. Or on purpose. Just putting, why, you just leaving bottles just sitting in the sink? You weirdos? Systems and serfdoms. Can I read that? Probably not. Everything you need to generate a character and get started. Oh, D&D, but for bureaucrats. Gross. What a bummer. Systems and serfdoms. Serfdoms! No! It's about being a fucking dystopian society wage slave for a game. You know, usually when people make D&D, when people make tabletop role-playing series for people to play, there's usually an escapist nature, like, hey, I want to be a vampire. Hey, I want to be an orc. Not, hey, I want to be an indentured servant in a dystopian nightmare where I can never escape and do the same thing every day until all of my will erodes away. Be a bit of a boring roleplay. Or it might be amazing. I don't know. Maybe I should try it someday. Maybe we'd have a fucking blast. These really are everywhere. Even here. If there's anything that the different warring factions agree upon, it's that they're mad at Phineas Wells.
The importance of the 8th back.
Blankenship, she's okay. But Lunsford has the highest rate of foot goals per game.
But if you cross-reference with the skills of the opposing team, his hand goal rate plummets.
What?
Lunsford plays worse against better teams. Blankenship plays better. I don't have time for this.
Carry on.
Move along.
Ah, they're both named, but we can't do anything with them yet. Klemper and Martinez. Maybe they'll come up later? They're debating toss ball stats. Very particular quirk to focus on this thing where you keep getting resource bonuses every time you encounter any workbench or vending machine, basically. That's definitely different. We appear to be in the clear. No witnesses. Got a hot plate. Bunch of lights left on even though nobody's in the room. Like savages. Make it count. Here we go. All personnel, please report to assigned workstations. Report suspicious activity to the nearest site safety engineer. Try Auntie Cleo's Handy Off, the surgical stain remover of choice. Welcome, Anton. Journal entry number 1. I feel quite alone. Jameson's the only one here worth anything at all, but even he bristles at my direction. This is quite likely a natural reaction to my pushing him so relentlessly, but if he ever hopes to reach Byzantium, he needs someone applying the correct amount of pressure. I feel he'll come to see the truth, but should that prove impossible, I can at least ensure his work doesn't damage my chances. I shall be keeping an eye on his reports to see if they do, too, warrant revision. I can't abide any more demerits against us. Heard Jameson talking to Vaughn today. He was railing against me, claiming I'm using him and everyone here to my own ends. I'd expect vitriol from that lazy sod Vaughn, but Jameson? How could he not see that I have only his best interest at heart? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. My unrelenting drive has always set others against me. With the latest breakthrough, I believe Byzantium is finally within my grasp. My next promotion will deliver me, I'm certain, so long as they don't see through my attempts to cover for the rest of these fools. I can't quite shake this unease I seem to be gripped by. This makes no sense. While I have yet to get Trammell to commit to a specific date, he assures me Byzantium could be a mere few weeks away. So why this encroaching feeling of emptiness? Must be a case of the nerves. I know I'll be accepted and, dare I say, possibly even revered when I finally arrive. So on some level, he seems to kind of care about Jameson, or at least feel genuinely betrayed by Jameson bad-mouthing him, but he just does something. He treats everyone around him poorly, but he might be getting pushed to do that by his bosses, and that he's trying to cover for all these different people because of the standards and restrictions and punishments and expectations and so on that the system places upon all of them. But he also thinks that he's on the verge of retirement, which is a terrible place to be in any story. People on the verge of retirement have a really nasty tendency to be faced with early retirement.
Ball in the goal zone.
Focusing only on offense neglects long-term strategic considerations.
Nobody ever won a game by sitting around their own goal.
I can cite multiple examples of games won by exhausting overzealous offense.
What?
Guys constantly running around trying to score goals wear themselves out.
Martinez, I'm really worried about your vocabulary.